On August 12, 2026, India launched a rupee 1 lakh crore plan to replace the aging aircraft that keep its Himalayan outposts supplied. But there's a problem. The backbone of this network is decades old. Across Ladakh and Arunachal Pradesh, these aircraft carry food, weapons, and emergency supplies to remote posts. India now wants 60 new transports to replace this aging backbone. Three global aerospace giants are competing for the contract. But the real prize is bigger than 60 aircraft. It could determine whether India finally controls the supply chain behind its Himalayan defense. Up in the extreme altitudes of Ladakh and Arunachal Pradesh, the terrain is hostile. The weather is unforgiving and the margin for error is zero. To keep troops stationed at these borders, the military relies entirely on a complex airborne supply line. Everything from heavy weapons to emergency medical evacuations and daily food rations has to be flown in and manually unloaded on the ice. But the aircraft executing these high altitude drops are getting dangerously old. The backbone of this supply chain is pushing 40 to 50 years in service. Securing the Himalayas means possessing a logistics network that can actually survive the geography. The highest outposts on Earth are useless if you can't reach them. Right now, that job falls largely to the Antonov AN-32. India bought this rugged transport plane from the Soviet Union back in the 1980s. After decades of intense, high altitude operations, the fleet requires massive, continuous maintenance to stay in the air. Because the original manufacturers are locked in the ongoing war in Eastern Europe, the supply chain for critical spare parts has dried up. Getting the required components is increasingly difficult. On paper, the Indian Air Force has over 100 of these transport planes. In reality, far fewer are actually in condition to take off at a moment's notice. To fix this vulnerability, the Ministry of Defense has issued a staggering 1 lakh crore tender. The goal is to buy 60 new transport aircraft that can handle rough, unpaved airstrips and semi prepared landing zones under extreme braking conditions. This massive procurement is a mandatory intervention. Without it, the entire high altitude logistics network risks total collapse. This chart breaks down military transport aircraft into three weight classes: light, medium, and heavy. We isolate the target right in the middle. The Indian Air Force specifically needs a medium transport aircraft, carrying a payload between 18 and 30 tons. That specific range is critical. Planes under 20 tons struggle to haul heavily armored vehicles, while heavy lifters over 40 tons are often too large to land safely on short, treacherous mountain runways. The winning aircraft has to hit an exact logistical sweet spot, powerful enough to haul heavy cargo, but versatile enough to maneuver through the frontier. Three corporate alliances are fighting for the contract. The first is Brazilian manufacturer Embraer, partnering with Mahindra Defence to pitch the C-190 Millennium. The second is Lockheed Martin, teaming with Tata Advanced Systems to offer the C-130J Super Hercules. And the third option is the massive Airbus A400M, likely partnering with Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Mapping payloads against the 18 to 30 ton target zone, the Embraer C-390 hits the center at 26 tons. Lockheed C-130J scrapes the bottom at 20 tons, but brings existing infrastructure. The Airbus A400M offers 37 tons, but adds steep costs for unneeded space. The Air Force has to make a calculated choice. They have to balance perfect technical specs, the safety of existing infrastructure, and expensive, future proof capacity. The true strategic edge of this tender lies in its constraints. Out of the 60 planes, India will only import 12 fully assembled aircraft from the foreign winner. Instead, the remaining 48 planes must be built entirely on Indian soil by the chosen local corporate partner. This forces a total technology transfer. Domestic engineers will have to learn how to manufacture complex avionics, radars, and high stress landing gear from scratch. Building the planes is only the first step toward the ultimate goal of the deal: establishing a domestic MRO hub. MRO stands for maintenance, repair, and overhaul. Controlling this process locally guarantees that no foreign nation can cut off critical parts or ground the fleet during a conflict. This 1 lakh crore deal is an aggressive industrial policy. It actively forces the creation of a massive local supply chain, permanently severing India's reliance on outside maintenance. The Air Force is transitioning from patching up 50-year-old Soviet airframes to manufacturing the most advanced transport jets in the world. As this domestic expertise grows, India is positioning itself to become the premier repair and maintenance hub for allied militaries across Asia. The decision comes down to the wire. Between Embraer, Lockheed, and Airbus, which contender should the Air Force select to secure the Himalayas? Whoever wins the contract, the ultimate victor is India's sovereign aerospace industry.